Hi guys, today we'll be doing a level 1 hip mobility session. It is the first video of a set of 3 which are related to hip mobility. In each video we'll have prep work, strength work, and flexibility work. There will be instructional videos, so I'll go over techniques and what you should be focusing on. And once I'm done with each segment, you can go ahead and do 3 rounds of each, and in some cases you may do more. So for today, we're going to start with the prep work for the first video, and that is, we'll start with hip swivel. So with the hip swivel, we'll be starting in a seated position. So come on down to a seated position, and I want to set my feet just outside shoulder width, making sure I'm sitting up as tall as possible with a flat back. From there, if you need to, you can stabilize yourself with your hands behind your back. For those of you who are comfortable without that, you can have them out in front. The focus here is to open up the hips, both internally and externally in rotation. So what I need you to focus on is how far you can open up in each direction. So, keeping nice and tall through the chest, you start by bringing one knee out to the side as far as you can, opening up that hip, and then you will close the other hip internally, bringing that knee as close as you can towards the other heel. You'll notice that I'm trying to avoid lifting my glute off the floor. So what I want to avoid doing is just going with it and not actually challenging the hip itself. So, open to one side, nice and tall through the chest. Bring the other down as far as you can without lifting the glute off the floor. Once you've done that, open all the way up to the other side first. So you're separating the knees as far as you can. And now that you've opened up this other side, you'll bring in the other knee internally towards the other heel as far as you can without lifting the glute off the floor. And repeat. Open, close. Open, close. For those of you sitting upright and not stabilizing your upper body, we want to try and keep the body straight still. You'll notice that my chest didn't turn on the previous supported version. From here, same thing. Opening, close. Making sure my chest remains pointing forward. Open and close. Open. So you can do a set of 5 on each side. Now, if you want to progress to a little bit more difficult version, you can actually add what's called a shin box. So from here, I will do as I did before, open, close. Once I've gone as far as I can, I'm going to continue to close, bringing this knee in line with the arch of the other foot. And then I'm going to shift my weight forward to get it over top of this front shin. And I'm going to brace myself in the lower body. So I want to be very engaged through the lower body so that the emphasis isn't shifting all to the knees. And I'm going to press up into the shins and drive my hips forward. From here, when I come back down, I'm going to make sure I keep my weight over top of that shin, sitting back with control, lowering with control, back onto my glutes, and then open, back to the center, close the other side. Once I'm off to the other side, I'll rotate around so I'm in line with the shin, leaning forward slightly, engaging, pressing through the shin, opening the hips as wide as I can, and sitting back down again. Reaching forward, keeping my weight over top, and coming back to center. Now, if this is a little bit too difficult for you, initially, you can support yourself with your hands. So as I open up to one side and shift to face that shin, I can place one hand in front, opposite hand to the front shin, and one behind, and I can use my hands to assist me to come back up onto the shins. And same thing when I'm coming back down. Once I get my weight over top, I can sit one hand in front, one hand behind, and help lower myself back down to the floor. Trying to use my lower body as much as I can, but also supporting myself with the upper body. And open to the other side. Repeat. Use your hands for support, but use your lower body as much as you can. Open, back over top, hands supporting, and then hands come off and open back to the center. So there's a couple of varieties for you for the shin box and just the basic hip swivel. The second movement that we're going to do today is called an ostrich. So this is opening up the hamstrings a little bit. What we're going to do here is I will stand sideways so you can see what's going on at the side. I'm going to alternate back and forth, stepping backwards. So I'll step back with one leg. From there, I can have my toes angled out at about 45 degrees in the back foot, and I can bend this knee, making sure it stays in line with the toes. As I do that, I'm hinging my hips back, keeping a nice flat back, aligning myself chest over knee, and then reaching forward and down to open up that hamstring. And when I come back up, I'm going to push through my heel to bring me back up again. And I can repeat that on each side 5 to 10 times. Shifting back, knees in line with the toes here as I hinge back, aligning my chest with the knee, flat back, reaching forward, pushing the heel to come back up. So you can do a set of 5 to 10 on one side, shift the other side, making sure the back toes turned out about 45 degrees. Same thing, knee aligns with the toes, chest aligns with the knee, front, reaching, flat back, 5 to 10 on that side. If you wish to alternate back and forth, back, remembering that you have to be focused on where this knee is going. You don't want it rotating inwards, and where the chest is. This is not doing you as much good as being aligned with that straight leg. Five to 10 on each side. So the third one for this prep work is called a hip rotation. It's about opening up the hip in various ranges of motion. It's part of that warm-up that we've done in the previous video. Again, you can use support with a PVC, a post, a wall, whatever you need to for balance so that you can focus more on the hip itself. You can do it in various positions. You can do it standing, in a quadruped position on all fours. You can do it, I'll cut that part out. From there, so you will start by bringing the knee up as high as you can, up towards the chest. While pulling up towards the chest, I want to open up to the side. When I do so, I want to make sure this hip doesn't follow and my upper body doesn't follow. We're trying to isolate the movement just in the hip capsule. It should open, turn, come back, and come back in. So all of the movement is in that ball and socket. So lifting the knee up, opening to the side, making sure you keep everything else pointed forward. From here, it's very important to rotate through that hip. Get that ball and socket turning by bringing the heel up towards the ceiling and knee down towards the floor. Now, what I'm avoiding here is compensating by leaning away. Again, upper body should remain in place as much as possible to challenge the hips capsule as much as possible. Up, open, rotate. From there, I'm going to bring it back as far as I can. So opening the hip with the knees, the heel still elevated. And then from there, I'll bring it in behind and then reset. Up, open, rotate, back, in and through. And you've got 5. Take your time, nice and slow. At this point is where you're really challenging that rotation in the hip and coming through. We can reverse that by going back first. And go sideways so you can see what's going on a little better at the back. From here, I'm making sure the heel goes straight back first, up towards the ceiling. Up, and then from there, I'm rotating the hip and lifting. So I'm back to this heel up, knee down position, trying not to lean away. Once I'm there, I'm going to bring the knee up higher as I rotate the heel down and bring it to the front. Back, rotate and lift, rotate front, back, rotate lift, rotate down in front. So you can do 5 in each direction on each side. I'll repeat on this side just for a rep or two, just to get a view from the other side. Up, open, rotate, back, down, and through, up, open, rotate, back, down, through. Reverse, back with the heel up, rotate and lift, down and forward, back, rotate and lift, forward and down, and repeat. So, 5 reps each direction, each side. If you want to challenge this a little further, you can use a tennis ball, a cross ball, or any other thing that you can, place behind your knee, and then squeeze the tennis ball. What this is doing is making sure you're contracting the lower body while you're rotating the leg, which will add some strengthening element to it. It's also making sure that as you rotate, you're not straightening the leg, that you're keeping this completely engaged and closed. Give those 3 a try. Do 3-4 sets, and then refer to the part B of this video, which will cover the more strength and stability work.